Happy Memorial Day, everybody, and welcome to the Dirt and Turf Podcast, Memorial Day edition. I'm Cobra, and I'm joined by Tyler. Hopefully, we will have more come in. Ben and Kat are a little busy, so our resident Orioles fans are not here. It's kind of disappointing, but it is what it is, and the show must go on. Tyler, how are you doing, my friend?
Not too bad, you?
Well, I'm doing better by the day. Unfortunately, had a very rough week. But hey, I'm with you guys and with the audience who's listening at home. Thank you for listening once again. If you are, tell your friends about us. We love doing this and we want to keep doing this. So let's get started. It's Memorial Day. Very fun type of day today. We're going to definitely mix things up just a little bit. Since it is Memorial Day, we know that there are a lot of teams that rock the red, white, and blue.
Mm-hmm.
And we also know that there are teams that rock, America on their logo. So we're gonna kind of suggest who we think is the most patriotic American type of team for Memorial Day that very much represents the red, white, and blue. So, Tyler, break it down for us. What we got?
So we have Actually, we have three really close teams. There's
more. There's more that wear red, white. There's more that wear red, white, and blue. But as far as where patriotism on their sleeve, there is realistically only three.
And the top three are the Washington Nationals, Philadelphia Phillies, and New York Yankees. The reason we say all three of those teams because as much as we hate to say the evil empire, what's more American than New York Yankees or Washington Nationals?
Yeah, or the Philadelphia Phillies with the Liberty Bell cracked.
Mm-hmm.
So the reason why we say everyone goes, everyone's more familiar with the Yankee pinstripes. But if you've ever noticed that their logo actually has the hat of Uncle Sam,
mm-hmm.
Yep, and is technically a reference to the northern part of the country, Yankees. Also it's what the Confederacy used to call Union soldiers was them damn Yankees. So again, there's some patriotism right there.
Mm-hmm.
And the Washington Nationals, even though a lot of people like to pick on Walgreens, the Walgreens logo, that script W that they always rock, as the plain logo that they have. A lot of people forget that the Washington Nationals, they do a lot of. They're not only red, white, and blue, but they're also in D.C., the nation's capital.
And then you got Philadelphia, which was actually technically the U.S.'s first capital.
Correct. It was not only the first U.S. capital, but it is where a lot of America's founding properly took place.
Mm-hmm. Yep, Philadelphia, 1776.
Yep, where the Declaration of Independence was created July 3rd, and then officially approved July 4th.
And then we became a nation in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania on August 2nd.
Correct.
That year.
So a little bit of Americana history for all our listeners who kind of didn't know that, or if you did, hey, kudos to you.
Yes.
Yep, and of course, with Memorial Day, we're going to see the stars and stripes as far as like stance socks, or arm sleeves, depending on who's going to, be playing. I think a lot of teams will also have that on them as well, the stars and stripes. But it's Memorial Day is a very special time anyway. realistically, it signals to me the unofficial beginning of the summer.
Well, not only that, we
Yep.
also have we also have the fallen soldiers. Memorial Day is specific. A lot of people don't forget the Memorial Day and Veterans Day mixed up. Memorial Day is for the fallen.
Yep.
Who fell during World War II,
Uh,
Vietnam, Korea,
you forgot World War One.
World War One, the Civil War,
Yep.
Persian Gulf,
The Revolutionary War.
We're in the Afghanistan War, still going on now. There's
Yep.
soldiers fighting and dying to this
Yep.
day in Afghanistan.
Yep. And in other parts of the world too. You know, and we should always remember the fallen. We should. That's just how it is.
And it also, like I said, also brings back the summer, being with your family.
Yep.
Memorials, and it just brings peace. Memorial Day is peace to the United States.
Yep.
And it's also, I mean, this is not baseball news, but tune into our Lap Down podcast and you'll know about Indy 500 and Coke 600, but that's a different podcast.
Yep. And
we do have some. Speaking of games this week, we actually have some very, very big games this week.
And before we get into the games, I would like to remind our listeners that we do have other sports on the Social Sports Pad Network. Tyler just alluded to the Lap Down. Please, listen to that wherever you get your podcast, whether it be YouTube, whether it be Spotify, iHeartRadio, wherever. But we also do football. So football is on the horizon. So be prepared for a return to football. So before we get into these standings, I do want to bring up another thing. If Kent and Ben were here, I would love to talk to them about if we think that that the Baltimore Orioles should keep Jackson Holliday. Should they get rid of him for more capital? I
was hoping they would be here for that one. Honestly, see what their opinions on them.
Yeah, because I think they'd have a very interesting hot take on that. I
honestly want to hear your opinion on it, and I'll say my opinion.
All right, my personal opinion. As much as I think they should keep him. I realistically think I think they shouldn't give up on him just yet. It is early in his career, and I think they shouldn't give up on him. A change of scenery would probably be good. But I think the Orioles should keep Jackson Holliday. You never know when someone will get injured, and he'll be caliber. So that's my opinion. What about you, Tyler?
My personal opinion is I kind of agree with you like that. I actually kind of have to agree with you there. Jackson Holliday is also still freshly out of the college and stuff like that.
Yep.
And he literally just got drafted last year.
Yes. So
it might be he might be struggling now, but it's like I said, not everybody's going to make it right away. I'd say give him a little bit more time. Go ahead.
This is an MLB The Show where you could just step out of the minor league system and just hit gong show home runs like you're a creative character.
There's going to be struggle. It's real life. Not everybody adapts to the thing. But and Jackson Holliday is absolutely raking in the minors.
Yes,
1,000%.
So that tells me he definitely needs a little bit more time. So, anywho, we are now going to get into the meat and potatoes of this podcast, and that is the current standings.
All right. As of 1 hour ago, I'm going to start in the AL like I always do. Yep. AL East. As of 1 hour ago, the Yankees are top of the leaderboard with 35-17, 8-2 in their last 10 games with a 673 win percentage.
They're currently 3 games ahead of the Baltimore Orioles.
While the Red Sox are 26-24, just a little over 500, and they're 5-5 in their last 10 games.
Also sitting at 5-5 in their last 10 games is the Tampa Bay Rays, who are 1 game below 500 and 9.5 games back of the leaders.
And then you got the Blue Jays rounding out. I mean, it's literally like a three-way race for third. It's between the Yankees and the Orioles for the top. It's been,
yeah.
I mean, the Red Sox are there, but they just need to give a little more. Like, I think couple trade deadline pieces, and I think they'll be fine.
I think the Red Sox are unfortunately just, they need more time to gestate. Yeah, I don't think going for an all-in push at this present time is the right move.
I think the Orioles. I think honestly, out of all 5 in the AL East, it's time to go is now for the Rays and the Blue Jays.
Yeah, I mean, the teams that would definitely be selling would be the Blue Jays and the Rays. In the AL East, definitely.
I would honestly say get rid of Bo Bichette and
Vlad Guerrero.
Vlad Guerrero. No, maybe keep Vlad Guerrero. He's your franchise player.
No,
but I think getting rid of Bo Bichette is probably your best option, and picking up some like draft picks and a couple of minor league prospects would not be a bad idea. And now moving on to the Central.
The Cleveland Guardians should be the fucking spiders of the galaxy. Are 33-17, 9-1 in their last 10, and currently lead the Central with a .660 winning percentage.
And we got the Kansas City Royals, which actually honestly surprised everybody. They were one of the worst teams last year.
To be fair to that, the Royals, when they're in the middle of the rebuild. And they were. Let's call a spade here. They were in the middle. They were in the middle of a rebuild. They were showing flashes that they are getting closer. Last year they showed they were getting closer. They just collapsed in on themselves. But they're looking pretty good. 8-2 in their last 10. Only 1.5 games back of the Cleveland Guardians should be the Spiders. It's kind of impressive. I think you're definitely going to see the Royals in one of those wild card spots.
It's going to be a really tight wild card, actually, once we get later in the standings.
It's also looking to be they might be a pretty good sleeper team in the wild card too. They might go far.
They really might. Their pitching is good. Their bullpen's hands down. Their bullpen's probably one of the best in the league.
Yeah. I wouldn't say the World Series contenders, but a long stretch into the playoffs.
Oh
yeah.
I see them going game 5, game 4, game 5 in the AL. Yes.
I see them going as far as game 7 one game short of the conference finals.
Okay.
Basically they would lose in games in a devastating game 7. Just a game short of the conference finals.
All right, now we got the Minnesota Twins, which have fallen off a little bit. I mean, but every team's gonna have a dry spell.
They pulled their future Minnesota Viking quarterback Aaron Rodgers and hurt their Achilles.
I knew you were going to bring that up.
I have to twist a knife on Tanner because resident.
We love you, Tanner.
Yeah, we love you, Tanner. He is a frequent guest on the football podcasts. So
didn't he pass away?
Yeah. Well, who?
Didn't one of our best viewers pass away?
Yeah, Aiden. That was Aiden who passed away. But Tanner's still with us. Don't worry about that. But it was. Aiden
I was confused for a second.
Yeah, it's all right, Tyler. All right, yeah, and the Twins are in a bit of a skid. They're still above 500, but their last 10 games they've only won 3. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and they are 6.5 behind the Guardians.
And then you got do you want to joke or can I joke about it's your turn anyway for the Tigers.
The Tigers are pulling an old school Detroit Lions. I legit thought this team was going to be competitive. And, it looks like they got neutered. They are 10 games behind the Guardians. They're 3 in the last 10. They are below 500. They are the Tigers. Who still roots for this team? Oh, my God. you know, they might.
I mean,
If they keep doing this, the White Sox are going to surpass them. The White Sox, don't give these fans hope.
As much as I hate, and then you really think Detroit's bad? Look on the south side of Chicago. What the hell are they doing over there?
The White Sox are
You
the
guys
White
were
Sox
World
are
Series
the White
contenders.
Sox.
You guys were World Series contenders, what, 3-4 years ago? You guys were like top of the division with Lucas Giolito.
The
Lance Lynn.
The White Sox are who we thought they were. We let them off the hook. Okay. Yeah. The White Sox need to contract their franchise.
Yes, I did. Anyway,
now let's go to the West Side.
West Side.
Yep. As the Seattle Mariners are 27-24. The last 10 they've been kind of middling, 5-5. 529 winning percentage, so this is kind of the weakest division of the AL. So far, the Seattle Mariners aren't kicking their fans in the dick like they always do. So there's that.
And then you got the last year's World Series champions, the Rangers. They're on 3 games under 500, which is not bad. They're 3 games back of the Mariners. They're on a rough losing streak right now, unfortunately. But that happens.
It does. Here's the thing. That is one of the hardest things to do as a World Series champion is to repeat.
Yeah.
Unless you're the New York Yankees and you have all the cap. Because here's the thing they don't tell you, and what I keep telling Kat all the time is when you're a World Series champion, a lot of people want to get paid.
Yeah. Always.
A lot of people want to get paid, and unfortunately, you cannot spend all your capital trying to keep the band back together, because then you won't have enough money for your prospects or anything else.
Anyway, continue on to the third place team. Let's make some jokes. Where's my trash can?
Yeah, where's we're trying to get the interview from the new Houston Astros hitting coach, Oscar the Grouch.
I love it.
The Astros are 22-28, 4.5 games behind the Mariners, but they are surging. Seven of the last 10. Still think they should sign Trevor Bauer because
cheaters always cheat. You need a cheater, an extra cheater. I love Trevor Bauer. Love you, Trevor.
Yep. After that, we head to the artist soon to be formerly known as the Oakland Athletics.
As much as I hate to say it, the Athletics aren't actually the worst team in the MLB. I mean, as much as the owners hate their fans, I know. Moving to Las Vegas.
The owners hate their fans, hate the city, hate the stadium, hate everything. That's why they want to move to Vegas.
They're in a better market. But
even worse, Vegas don't want them either.
Yeah,
that's the worst thing.
The cool part about this, the Athletics are literally like at their total win total from last season.
Yes,
already. So that tells you something. They're young and they're trying to prove to their fans that look, the team wants to play baseball, but not the owners.
Exactly.
And then we got.
Then we have the Troutless. Then we have the Troutless Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim of California. Artie Moreno, sell the goddamn team already.
Yeah, fine,
you don't want to deal with the luxury tax. You clearly don't want to win. You clearly don't want to invest in your team. You wasted Mike Trout's career. Sell the team. Just like James Dolan needs to sell the Knicks and the Rangers.
The Rangers are doing good though.
Yeah, but it's James Dolan, one of the biggest pieces of shit owners, not named Dan Snyder.
I mean, don't get started here because there is a couple Washington fans that are hissing at us right now.
And a couple Washington fans who are looking at me going, "Yeah, Dan Snyder was the biggest piece of crap ever."
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So again,
right.
And now.
We
go to the NL East with the best team in baseball.
Philadelphia Phillies, 37-14 with a 725 winning percentage, 22
9 of their last 10, and they have Kyle Schwarber with the Nest bat sound effect. Every time.
Kyle Schwarber is absolutely on fire right now.
Yep.
Same with Bryce Harper.
Yep.
And they're on a 6-game winning streak right
now. Yes, and I will also say this: the Citizens Bank Park might as well be called the Gong Show. Just because every time they hit the bat, it's just gong.
Gong.
Yep. And interestingly enough, the Braves, despite being injured to hell and back, are keeping with the Phillies. 29-18, 6-17 win percentage, only 6 games back. They're kind of 5-5 in the last 10, but again, they're injured, but they're still in it.
Chris Sale and Max Fried are literally holding that team together.
Yep, and that team is literally held together with string, rubber bands, paper clips, and duct tape.
And then you got the Washington Nationals, which we talked about earlier.
Then you have the bottom feeders. The Washington Nationals, I kind of expected this from them, primarily because the Nationals, they look like they're a lunch pail crew. All right, they don't really have any superstars per se yet, but it's a young team. This is what you got to expect out of a young team. Don't be disappointed that they are getting beat like they are. Just know that they're rebuilding.
They're in the rebuilding phase after.
Yeah, they're rebuilding. So again, you can't expect that. And
then you've got
before we get to Lowell Mets, because I've got to talk about them for a minute, because I definitely know that Steve Cohen's on drugs.
It's Steve Cohen, no.
Yes, but the Marlins rounded at the bottom. They are 17-34, 20 games behind the Phillies, but they are 7-3 of the last 10. But the Mets, 21-28, 15 games back, two of the last 10, and yet Steve Cohen says that this is a playoff team.
Absolutely not.
What? Yeah, this team is not a playoff team.
Where's that what the fuck mean?
Now what? Basically, this. I can't wait for Urinary Tree to tear down Lowell Mets during the All-Star game. So yeah,
Lowell Mets. We need to make T-shirts saying, I am the Lowell Mets."
No, because I guarantee you, Urinary Tree already has that, so we don't want to break into his profits. Because guess what? Urinary Tree is a friend of the channel. Yeah. Not only does he roots for us, and he roots for me too, because I've been supporting his channel. He does his best to support us. All right.
Then we have the West next.
We have the Central next.
It's on my screen. It has the West.
Yeah, on my screen it says the Central, so we go with the Brewers.
Brewers. Okay, we got the Brewers, which are 28-21. This is probably the weakest division in the NL.
It's the most balenced, realistically.
Most balanced, but also weakest at the same time.
Yep.
We got the Brewers. I mean, they're 4-6 last time. They have 571. I mean, they're all right. They're like gonna be a wild card game.
All I gotta say is every time I see the Brewers, I'm like, okay, please let there. Is there gonna be a fight? Oh, it's hockey. It's hockey. It is. It is not. Yep.
Then you got the actual good team in Chicago.
The Cubbies. They're the most loyal fans, have stood by him stood by him through thick and thin, have died becoming Cubs fans and never witnessed a World Series. Still hate Steve Bartman.
But that's Steve Bartman. I mean,
then you have the Cardinals.
Which they're not. They're actually on a roll right now. I mean, they might be 23-26 now in 5 games back, but they're 8-2 in their last 10 games.
Exactly. And the team that definitely agrees that
no wins there.
Yes, because we got to root for Steelers. Get away from the Pirates. Even though PNC Park is a great stadium, we got to go root for Steelers because Steelers gone to Super Bowl. Steelers gone to Super Bowl.
Get back in your cage.
Back in your cage, Yinzer. Here's your daily dose of Iron City beer. Uh, yeah, but the Pirates, five, balanced 5-5 in the last 10, 6 games
And
back,
then we
and 23-28.
and
And then
then we got all the
and
Reds.
then the Reds, 20-30, 400, 8.5 games back, 3 of 7 in the last 10. Look,
Only one person that's good.
if I were a betting man, wink wink nudge nudge, I would definitely have said that the Reds were not going to win. We're not going to lead their division. I even knew that, just because of their performance last year. They were
And
as
then
big of a joke as Lowell Mets last year. So,
and then they only got one good player. That's it.
yes, Ela De La Cruz.
And then let's move on to the West before we make too many jokes.
Yep.
You got no surprise, we got the Dodgers.
We have the Dodgers. Rob Manfred's favorite team, especially when he lusts over famous responsible gambler Shohei Ohtani. Yep, you gotta fawn over his favorite player of all time, famous responsible gambler Shohei Ohtani.
Famous.
Yep.
I'm kidding. And then we got San Diego Padres, which are 6.5 games back.
And surprisingly, unlike last year where they were below 500, they have finally crept up above 500.
Now we got the Giants, which are 1 game below 500. They're 7.5 games back, but they're actually on the rise. They're 7-3 in their last 10.
And by the way, I expected that of the Giants. To be fair, I expected the Giants to be kind of mediocre.
Mediocre, but not mediocre. But they're a good team, but they're not quite there yet. They're not quite their 2010 to 2014 team.
No. And another team that I expected to be at this stage was the Diamondbacks.
Even though they were World Series runner-ups.
Let me say this openly. That World Series run was a fluke, and I hate to say it, I think their fans knew it.
Oh yeah, that was a fluke.
Yes. Be happy that you made it. I kind of wish that you had kept the meme alive and kept the Texas Rangers as a legacy of failure. But unfortunately, we can't have nice things. And speaking of can't have nice things, the Colorado Rockies. Yep. 16-33. And
16.5 games back.
Yep, they're and only 1 game above the worst team in baseball, the Chicago White Sox. And seriously, seriously, Colorado, you have one of the greatest home run stadiums. How are you this bad?
They don't have pitching. That's their problem. Their hitting's not the problem.
Now, they have, to be fair, Tyler, they have the same problem that the Oakland Athletics have. The owner, and the Pittsburgh Pirates too. The owners do not care about the team. They care about profit margins.
It's as much as I hate to say it. Actually, there's another team that, even though we don't think about it because they're doing so well, New York Yankees. Brian Cashman's a fucking idiot.
Yes, he is. And also the Reds also fall in that category too. But that is enough of the standings.
All right, what do we got next for today?
Now it's now we're about to wrap up. I know it kind of seems a little bit sad because we only have 2 people here, but we're about to wrap things up with a beautiful bow here. We need to talk about the games of the week, brought to you by Duke Cannon Supply Company. Did you know that Duke Cannon supports, actually supports the troops by their proceeds proceeds that whenever you buy goes towards the VA? That
is awesome. That is awesome,
and especially for Memorial Day. So really, support the troops by ordering from Duke Cannon Supply Company. They have great smelling soaps, and trust this Cobra. I've used Duke Cannon for over 4 years now.
I've had about 5.
They make Tyler, and they make great smelling soaps from real men, not just soap either. They have body wash, they have cologne, they have shampoo, they have deodorant. They have products to make you smell great.
And to add on to that, I actually bought their shampoo and their body wash. Oh my god. Best decision I've ever made.
Exactly.
Anyway, who do you got for your games of the week?
We're not done. We're not done with the commercial. Because remember, the link is in the spot in our bio down below. Please support the channel as well as our other affiliate links. Now we can get into the games.
All right, you want to go first?
No, I'm going to have you go first, and I'm going to have you pick. Since we are down people, I need you to pick 3. Let's just go 3. Let's go 3.
All right. Actually, my pick is actually going to be the Rangers and the Twins.
Rangers and Twins?
Mariners Nationals, and I'm going to have to go home this week and go to Yankees Padres.
All right. So, with me, I am definitely going to say there's a reason that the Yinzer came out of his cage today, and that is because the Pirates are winning 11-3 against the Braves.
Yeah, I saw that.
So that is definitely a weekender game to watch. Pirates Braves, and then I'm going to have the Royals and Rays because the Royals are just absolutely kicking the living crap out of the Rays.
Yep. The Brewers are kicking the living shit out of the Red Sox, too,
and Tyler, goddammit, I was just about to say, the Brewers and the Red Sox, because the Brewers, as I said, always looking for a fight, and what better way to get into a fight than with a bunch of drunken Bostonians?
Yeah, my car!
Yeah.
Anyway, now, before I continue, for any of those Cubs Cardinals fans, right now your game is delayed due to severe weather. It'll be restarting within the next hour.
Right. And I hate to say this, Tyler, but that is it for our show. Before we go, we got to give a special shout out to our affiliate links. As everyone knows, we are sponsored by Fanatics. Wherever you get your fan apparel, you go to fanatics.com.
Get those MLB jerseys. Wear them proud. Make sure you get an American flag one for this weekend. Get a 4th of July one. Get an All-Star one.
And also make sure you wear a shirt underneath it so they don't see your nipples.
But that's for the weekend. But that's for the weekend, man.
Yep. And no one needs to see your passies, Tyler. We also have Bulletproof Coffee. Bulletproof Coffee. Not only do coffee, they do supplements and collagen infused coffee.
Greatest damn coffee ever made.
Facts. We also, strangely, are sponsored by Dr. Squatch as well as Duke Cannon.
They're both really good. I have both.
Both are really good deodorant brands. Once again, give them a chance.
Don't forget DraftKings.
Don't forget about Sleeves.com.
Mm-hmm.
Sleeves make great compression apparel. Not only do you look good, but you're also benefiting your arms or legs. They also, with football season coming up, your kid's going to want to look good on the field. They have receiver gloves out there. They have a pretty cool pair of Freddy Krueger style receiver gloves. Not gonna lie, I would rock those.
They do. So I just bought one of those sleeves. I actually used our affiliate link. All of the links are. I wish I had my camera on. I'd be be pointing down as the pointing down.
Yeah. If this were live and we were sharing screens, I would definitely show off doing that.
And then we should do an episode where we show off some products. I do actually 100% agree.
Because guess what? Guess who owns a lot of arm sleeves from Sleeves, and that would be me.
I own a lot of Dr. Squatch stuff, so.
Yep. I own a lot of Duke Cannon as well. Then we also have W Energy. W Energy has been has been the first ever sponsor we've ever had. So give them some love.
To us. W Energy is fantastic. My personal opinion, I like W Energy, but I'm going to go off script here and say I personally like G Fuel, but W is still great. And the affiliate links is down below. If you want, if you're a gamer, if you like us who watch baseball and need that extra energy for the late content at midnight.
Speaking of baseball, you probably watch it on Fubo TV, another one of our affiliates. Mm-hmm. And of course, we can't forget about Century PC. Giving us some love on the podcast.
Don't forget about DraftKings. Make sure bet that over under.
Wait, we have DraftKings?
I think.
No, we don't. We don't have DraftKings. We don't have DraftKings as an affiliate.
Oh no, we don't. Okay, maybe not.
Yeah.
Okay, I think Ben had suggested it, but
we don't have DraftKings yet.
Not yet. We'll have DraftKings soon.
And before we sign off, let me remind our listeners that the end of the month is happening, and I'm pretty sure Tyler's nipples are wet as soon as I said end of the month, because this will be our end of the month stat wrap up for the Dirt and Turf podcast. So be prepared for that episode.
That'll be next week, guys.
That'll be next week, exactly, because that is May 31st. Next week, we are doing our stat wrap-up. And our stat wrap-up and our monthly awards. I
do want to before we wrap up, I do want to get up a couple unfortunate news real quick. The Orioles, Dean Kramer on the 15-day IL with tri-ship Spain. This is earlier today. And Mets shut down Kodai Senga with ailing arm issues.
Ouch. That is a bad injury report and a bad omen.
I just had to read that because that just popped up.
All right. So I think we have just run out of seeds for the Dirt and Turf podcast. That's
all right. See you guys next week.
And once again, I am Cobra on behalf of Tyler. Let's play ball, everyone.
Play ball.
Yep.
And